Hi everyone, this is Rakesh and you are watching Analyzer Analysis. In this video, I am going to discuss about the evolution of Excel, the Excel, when it was started, who invented it, and why most of the people call it as a spreadsheet. Let's start the video without wasting any time. Moving back to the history, in 1978, the person called Dan Bricklin was an MBA student in Harvard Business School. When he was in his class, he noticed that the students are doing mathematical calculations on the board, and the board is in the form of rows and columns. When they're doing a new calculation, they're just erasing the previous calculation. By seeing this, Dan Bricklin conceived the concept of VisCalc, and he realized that he can do the same thing on the computer. With the help of his friend Bob Frankston, who was an former MIT student, also joined Dan Bricklin at 231 Broadway, Arlington, Massachusetts. They both formed a software art company and finally developed VisCalc program. They released it in 1979 on Apple II systems. They call it as a magic sheet of paper which can do calculation, recalculation, and allow user to solve their problems. When it was released on Apple systems are sold a lot. It's a revolutionary change on the time. In 1980, Sourcim has introduced its spreadsheet version and they named it as SuperCalc. SuperCalc is the part of CP by M software. CP by M is nothing but a control program for microcomputer. Initially, it was launched on Apple System 2, but later in 1982 it was ported to MS-DOS. In 1982, Microsoft has introduced its spreadsheet version and they named it as Microsoft Multiplan. The electronic worksheet program, when it was launched in the market, over a million smart buyers worldwide agreed that Microsoft Multiplan is the best application of that time. Because it can create worksheet in minutes, it can perform complex calculation easily with its built-in financial and statistical functions. Alongside, it comes with 4095 rows and 255 columns. Over the top, it introduced the Microsoft Mouse feature in this version, so that you can use mouse to work more quickly. Mitchell Kapoor, who was the founder of Lotus Company and one of the friend of Dan Bricklin, who was the founder of Miscalc. He officially launched its Lotus 123 version in January 26, 1983. It was the popular command line spreadsheet program in 1980s and immediately overtook the Viscalc in sales. Unlike Microsoft Multiplan, it stayed very close to the model of Viscalc because it was a clean programmed, relatively bug-free, gained speed from being written completely in x86 assembly language. Lotus 123 was arguably the single application which made the IBM PCs a successful in the market. On September 30, 1985, finally Microsoft has launched its first Excel version for Mac, which is the part of Apple system. And they released the same version of Excel in 1987 for Windows version, and they named it as Microsoft Excel 2.0. In later 5 years, Microsoft launched its third and fourth version of Excel, and they added features like toolbars, drawing capabilities, outlining, add-in support, 3D charts. It also includes a lot of usability features such as the autofill function, which was firstly introduced on Excel version 4.0. In 1993, Microsoft released its Excel version 5.0. It is the major upgrade of Excel version because it includes the features like workbooks with multiple worksheets and it supports the VBA programming language, which stands for Visual Basic for Application. Microsoft also introduced the pivot table feature in this version of Excel. There is no version 6 in Excel list. Microsoft has launched its seventh version of Excel on 24th August 1995. It was the first major 32-bit version of Excel. Although its features are very similar to the previous version of Excel, like a workbook with multiple worksheets, support for VBA and macro, but it was faster than previous version of Excel. In 1996, Microsoft has released its eighth version of Excel in MS Office 97. They have introduced new features like data validation, more customization of toolbars and menu bars. Now you can add up to 32,000 characters in a cell, and they have increased the rows count up to 65,536. Microsoft Office 2000. It was released in 1999. The new features of this Excel version 9, it includes the HTML as a native file format, a self-repair capability, an enhanced clipboard, pivot charts, and module-less user form. Later in 2001, Microsoft has released the same version of 2000 for XP, and they named it as a version 6 of Excel. In 2003, Microsoft has released its MS Office 2003, and it come up with a Excel version level. They have introduced the significant new features like color-coded worksheet tab to better organize the work, right margin task pane to quickly access often used features, and they have enhanced the auto sum which now support the average, count, max, minimum, and more. Also, they have enhanced the feature like find and replace to search the entire workbook. They have introduced the new feature like the formula evaluator, the formula auditing toolbar, which helps to reduce the formula errors in the workbook. Finally, Microsoft has released its MS Office 2007. They come up with Excel version 12. This new version of Excel differs significantly from previous version in both appearance and functionality. The traditionally looking menus, toolbars, task panes have been replaced by the new navigation system. They have introduced new features like conditional formatting, live preview, the ribbon menu, format as a table, charts right from the insert tab itself. In 2010, June 15, Microsoft released MS Office 2010. Microsoft has skipped the version 13 because 13 is unlucky number for Microsoft. That's the reason they have released Excel version 14. It supports the 64-bit version, and they have introduced the new features like multi-threading recalculation for commonly used functions, ability to customize the ribbon, improved more pivot tables, added more conditional formatting options, also introduced the in-cell charts, now we called as sparklines, and pivot table slicers. Microsoft Office 365. Microsoft has released its beta version in 2010, and later they made it publicly on June 20, 2011. They focused mainly for corporate users. It's a subscription based Office suite which you have to pay annually. Unlike previous version of MS Office versions, you have to pay one time, but here you have to pay annually. You will get regular updates and you can grant access for more users. Microsoft has introduced Excel version 15 in MS Office 2013. This new version of Excel has most noticeable changes is that now it is compatible with touch devices as well as the entire Office 2013 suite. There are a larger space between commands and icons in touch devices. The new features of this Excel are now you can see the fill flash feature in this version. You can enjoy the backstage view, make more quick reports with Power View, share files and work with other people. Excel version 16, which is the part of MS Office 2016. The new features of MS Excel 2016 are mainly focused on collaboration. The main changes between Excel 2016 and 2013 are associated with business intelligence features. They can be located on the insert and data tabs and included several new chart types, a power mouse and tools, and a forecast sheet feature. There are also a new get and transfer section for creating and working queries. Microsoft has not specified any particular version for this Excel 2019, which is the part of MS Office 2019. Microsoft has introduced new formulas like MXIFs, text join, concat, and switch. They have also introduced new graphs and diagrams, edit SVG images and 3D models. And also they have done a lot of improvements in Power Query, automated workflow, and maps, charts. Also, they have introduced 500 plus built-in icons.
On October 5, 2021, Microsoft finally introduced MS Office 2021. In this new version of Excel, they have introduced new features like XLOOKUP, XMatch, let, dynamic arrays, and lot of new features. These features will work both in Office 365 as well as MS Office 2021. Like I already said, if you want a licensed version, you can go for MS Office 2021, or else you can pay monthly or annually and get the subscription based Office 365. That's all for the video. I hope you enjoy the content. If you like the video, do subscribe to our channel, give a thumbs up, and hit that bell icon so that you never miss any update from Analyzer Analysis. This is Rakesh signing off. See you in next video. Till then, bye bye.